Body.
Hold on.
Okay. It says we're live, broadcast live. So, hey, hopefully everybody is doing well. This is Wednesday, and I'm usually not in this, but today I am. And actually, the topic is stress and how it affects the body. Our amazing leader, Heidi Lindsay, who's a wellness coach, also she usually is facilitating this call, but she's with us right now. You can see she's actually traveling, but her signal might go in and out. But we're just excited to bring a panel of experts, wellness professionals, medical staff. We have an awesome new guest for the first time. I'm so excited. An OBGYN physician to talk about stress and how it affects the body, and really just an amazing topic, and really just excited. So at this moment, I would encourage you to go ahead and tag a few people who might be dealing with any stress. We're obviously living in a pandemic right now, so I would say people's stress levels have been a little bit higher than normal. Hopefully, we're coming out of the pandemic, but in my opinion, it's really a mindset. So some people were never really in a pandemic. There are some people that never really experienced that. But definitely tag some people. Share this out because we're definitely going to be sharing some amazing information from this panel. And so I'm going to go ahead and just introduce the panel. We'll start with Dr. Hanagowski. This is actually her first time joining us, and she's an OBGYN physician. So welcome, Dr. Hanagowski. Would you like to have some short words just to start off? I think you're muted.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I practice in Western Pennsylvania, like you said. My interest is helping ladies through all aspects of their life. I'm really an advocate of preventive medicine. I think if we take care of this one body that we were given in the best manner that we can, then it will serve us well. And that includes our physical aspects of our body and our mental health as well.
Awesome. Oh, wonderful. We are excited to just have a chance to hear from the medical side. We certainly appreciate all that you do. We've had medical professionals join our show pretty much every week, so we love to get the full complement of non-medical and also professionals that can kind of share in this topic of wellness. We're going to next Jeffrey Berger. He's here. He is a certified health and wellness. He's also a wellness gladiator. He's certainly not a stranger to our show. We love Jeff. He talks about, what is it? The gut biome.
The gut brain axis, the microbiome.
Yeah. Yes, he talks about that. And when you sit there and listen to it, you just feel smarter because he's saying those words. You're like, it's like, but no, we're excited to have you here, Jeff. Why don't you have a few words?
Thank you, Courtney. I'm really humbled to be here again. And I want to show you my shirt here. What is mental wellness? It's really everything. So, yes, I am. My business name is Abundance and Optimum Wellness. I truly believe that all of us should be living a life of abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, and financially. And I am a certified health and integrative wellness coach. I'm also aligned with the only holistic mental wellness company that actually focuses on the microbiome, which is the gut, brain, heart axis health, and utilizing the science and the research that's being published in medical and scientific journals through the Microbiome Project that started in 2006. And it's been an amazing journey for myself, health-wise, as well as providing value for others.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I appreciate what you're doing in the field. Obviously, that the mental game, I think that's one of the things that attracted me most to you, and just hearing you talk about the mental aspects of wellness. And really at the time that we connected, that was really where I was at. I was really in this mental thing where it's like, it's the mind over matter. You know what I mean? And it was
right.
timing.
My whole focus for 2021 is mental fitness is the new physical health. So that's what you're really all about there, which is cool.
That's powerful. That's powerful. It almost makes me think about like the saying where they say, "What comes first, the fire or the smoke?" You know what I mean? It's like it's one of those kind of, it's kind of one of those things. But awesome. But let's make our last introduction. I'm just looking at our panel right now. It looks like Heidi left, but last but certainly not least, my sister from another mister, all the way out on the West Coast with the big smile, and she's always cooking some amazing foods and some different things like that. I do want to introduce Mai Tai, Cooking with Mai. She's an amazing foodie, cook, and she is an amazing just breath of fresh air and inspiration. It really completes a lot of me in terms of my wellness journey. Like that food part, I really struggled with that part until I met her. She's really helped me with that. So Mai, why don't you have some words? You're muted. You're muted. Come on.
Oh my gosh, such a little noob faux pas. So hello everybody. I'm coming to you from my kitchen. This is where all the magic happens. And I am one of the founders of Courtne Wellness Companion, and Courtne and I are like brother and sisters. We support each other in our journey, and I teach him everything he knows about cooking. And I am really happy to be on this panel. And stress is such an important topic that affects our health immensely. And everybody experiences some kind of stress in their life. So I'm looking forward to hearing how to deal with it and how we can make the best out of it. So back to you, Courtne.
Awesome. And so for our studio, well, I don't know if we say studio guests, or for our people that are watching this panel, if you have questions or comments, please share those comments, because we love the feedback, we love the engagement. This show is for you. You know, we just put together an amazing panel to discuss topics that are trending, that many people are talking about. So I'm going to just start. This is a website that I use a lot called healthline.com. And you know, when you think about stress, you think about like negative, like stay away from me. You know, like everybody thinks that way. But I literally just looked at this website, and something really jumped at me. And it says here for immediate stress beneficial to your health, and it's actually highlighted. So there's a hyperlink, so I could click on it and get more information on that. So it's like, you know what I mean? That was the thing that jumped off to me when I just read a couple paragraphs, like stress being beneficial. So I'll just read this. It says, stress is a natural physical and mental reaction to life experiences. Everyone expresses stress from time to time. I think they mean experiences stress. It says, but it says anything from everyday responsibilities like work and family to serious events such as a diagnosis, war, or the death of a loved one can trigger stress, right? We've all been able to, you know, probably experience one of those three things. It says for immediate short-term situations, stress can be beneficial to your health. It can help you cope with potentially serious situations. Your body responds to stress by releasing hormones that increases your heart and breathing rates and ready your muscles to respond. So we can start there. You know, the whole idea of many people being worried about stress, our bodies are just kind of naturally built to for stress to be a part of it. Would anybody kind of like to talk about that?
Well, I think when you do have stress, it's just a matter of how you deal with the stress. You can internalize it sometimes, and then that can make the situation worse, and it can affect your body by becoming ill. But if you understand the stress, understand that it's there, and then work your way through it and find ways to cope with it and have outlets for your body, I think that makes a difference when how you manage the stress. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense when you said outlets. It certainly made me think about several years ago, whenever we were training together and we were doing the You
Mm-hmm.
was going to talk about that, Dr. Hanagowski. You had known that was going to come up. And actually, Jeff is actually into boxing too, which is interesting that you two are on the panel at the same time. And Jeff he's actively doing a boxing class right now, Jeff.
It's a boxing class, yeah. I just started. I'm like in my second month, so
Okay.
something
Awesome.
something different.
Well, because I love the stress relief for boxing seems to be my go-to. It gives me the best relief. So I was going to invest in this piece of equipment that was like $1,500 and had a membership, but my son has a virtual reality, and there is an app in there which is a virtual reality boxing, and so you fight these guys in the ring. And I knocked them out. You're supposed to go 3 rounds. I've knocked my opponents out in 1 or 2 rounds each time.
Why am I not surprised? Why am I
awesome.
not surprised?
And then there's another app in there, which is these things come flying at you, and you have to punch at them with like uppercuts or
Hooks,
just punch. Yeah.
different types of
And
punches.
and it measures how intense your punches are. So for me, it is such a great stress reliever. At the end of the workday, I have to hook into there.
You're punching those stressors. You'll have to share that app name. That sounds
Yeah.
interesting.
Yep. It's through the virtual reality, and you literally are punching a guy, and he gets all black and blue in the middle of it too as you're punching him.
No,
It's that real. But everybody should have it. And sometimes I'll tell ladies in my office, I'll ask them, what they do to relieve stress, because women are always so stressed. They're managing so many things in their life. Yeah. And so I'll tell ladies, if you don't have a place to go to exercise, I tell ladies to put on music and dance like a crazy person. That's one of my go-to things to tell them. Nothing relieves stress more than letting it out. Dancing like nobody's watching is how you should let it out.
Yeah. I saw you clapping back there. You like that idea of dancing like a crazy person. She starts clapping.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, when you just kind of just let go of your, because we like to be in control at all time and not look like, not silly, but like once you hear a really good music, you just start dancing, and like if you don't care who sees it, like it's just so freeing, and then you get like a really nice workout at the same time. I do that sometimes, and it's just so fun, and you just laugh. You just can't help but just put that smile on your face, and just like that just takes the stress level down, because it's like you can't think about being stressed when you're just being silly and laughing and working your butt off dancing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to add, and I think you'll agree with me, or you probably have a lot more information in regards to food, but much of the food that is out there with the chemical preservatives, the research that I have done, a lot of these chemical preservatives do add a stress level with raising your cortisol levels and affecting your neurotransmitters, because 90% of your neurotransmitters are created in your gut. So a lot of that stress is enveloped in that area first before it's really up in the brain. And, science is now showing that these chemical preservatives are a massive contributor to not only stress, but a lot of other things that are happening today. And I'm sure Dr. Rebecca can vouch on that as well, or back me on that.
Oh, absolutely. The food that we eat, I don't know if you eat, like, I'm not used to eating like processed foods. And then if you have something like that, you just feel so sluggish and tired, and it affects, and I stress to the ladies when they'll complain about the fatigue, and we'll sit down and look through the type of food that they eat, and just even making them have slight changes in their diet, they start to see that energy level increase.
Yes.
But food is huge.
Yeah, it's massive. And just to share a really quick little story for me, reversing my type 2 diabetes, losing 60 pounds and coming off of 5 meds, I actually went plant-based. And that was for 9 months. And I did a test. I wanted to do a test, and I went back to some of the junk food. And within a very short period of time, within like 2 or 3 days, I could see that my mood was changing. I wasn't feeling good. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing how impactful this is to our human body. And we've been doing this for decades for those of us who are in our 50s and 60s, 66 here. So, but yeah, it's really important to get out there and share that what people are eating, because SAD it's not sad, it's standard American diet, which is sad. So, yeah.
So what would you say? We talked about a couple of things. We gave our listeners a couple of things that they can do from a physical standpoint. We talked about boxing. We talked about dancing. What does anyone have any suggestions on like certain foods that you would say that might, I don't know, what's the opposite of stress? Maybe foods that give you a boost. Are there some foods that, you know, I know most people when they stress, they eat ice cream. It's like the stress food of choice.
For me specifically, I don't tell ladies that there's a food that increases their mood or anything like that, but I suggest to them that they avoid anything that's processed. I tell them that's anything that's white, anything that comes in a box should get cleared out of their diet.
Okay.
That's makes it the simplest for me to explain to a woman in a short office visit. I'm sure there's a longer and better ways to do it, but that's what I found helps for me. But what other, if you guys have specific foods, I would love to share.
Yeah, so sugar is top of the list.
Right.
That is I call that the legal cocaine of the world. It's the ingredients are really playing havoc on everybody's gut. You got artificial sweeteners, then you've got the processed carbohydrates, and of course alcohol, excessive alcohol, because there's that controversy. A glass of wine a day is good, but then you hear other people saying no, it's not good. And then excessive caffeine. Say that again.
What about every other day?
in moderation, there, but the way I go is looking at the boxes and the cans. If you can't read the ingredients, then don't buy it. And it's basically shopping in the outside aisles of the grocery store, which is your best option. Anything in the middle is, just not good. And the food colorings that are in a lot of these foods, especially with the kids' foods, the cereals out there that are packed with sugar, artificial flavors, things like that. Anything artificial, anything that's chemically made. And I share this in my workshops, on my Take a Mind Break workshops, that these food companies go out to chemical companies to create a preservative that is addictive. So they do this with intention to get people, addicted. And my reference is, bet you can't eat one.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Heidi, I see.
Heidi's here.
Yeah, Heidi's here. Heidi, go ahead and unmute your mic. And all we talked about so far was we really talked about moving, and we talked about eating healthy and avoiding certain foods to kind of help coping with stress. Heidi is our one of our wellness companions. She's one of the founders of Courtne Wellness Companion as well, and she's also a health and wellness coach. So I'm going to just pass it to you, Heidi. I know you had some other things that you wanted to talk about. I stalled long enough. So.
Oh, I thank you so much. I was telling them today, talk about stress. I apologize for coming in here late, but thank you. My wonderful partners there, they keep you soaring. So nice to meet everybody here, and glad to have you on. And anybody new, yeah, stress. I can really relate to this tonight. Yay! So some of the things with stress that I would like to go over, there's body, mind, emotions, and behavior. And I just want to go over some of these. So the body, what happens to our body when we're stressed? What are some of the factors there? So frequent infections, skin irritation. I've known people that stressed, they have rosacea, they have different skin disorders that they
Hives.
end up getting. Yeah. Rebecca, did you say you have?
No, hives. People get hives.
Oh, hives,
Yeah.
right. Flushing, stress. I know myself too. When I get flushed or anxiety, I get flushed with that. Taut muscles, headaches,
Migraines. Yeah.
migraines. Absolutely. So those are
Diarrhea.
some of the, yeah.
Yep.
So and internally, like we internalize everything, and if you don't, that boxing, I did hear some of that. You guys using those techniques or exercising, walking, releasing, all that stress is wonderful. Some of the things that affect the minds, we worry, muddled thinking, impaired judgment. Sometimes we get stressed. Do you ever have some judgment that wasn't really well whenever you stressed out? Hasty decisions, negativity. Now, negativity is probably the first and foremost. When you're stressed, you're angry, you're intolerant of situations or sometimes people. So behaviors, what do we do when we get stressed? Well, some people drink, some people smoke, some people eat. Oh, it's funny. A lot of times we get with stress all the bad habits that we try to put into good habits, So we'll talk about, I would like you guys, I'm just going over some quick things, and then I would like you guys to feed on all these things here. Emotions, loss of confidence. You're more fussy, irritable, anxiety, which is a big one. I suffer from anxiety, very much so. So that's a problem. Alienation. A lot of times when we feel too stressed, we alienate ourselves. We don't like to go out. We don't, because every situation just makes us anxious, stressed out, and depression. So those are the four main things there, and I would like to get everybody's opinions here on the panels about those.
Well, you definitely hit the full gamut on the stress, results of what people go through, and stress is, well, the World Health Organization says that stress is a world pandemic, and millions and millions of people have it. So, going back to different holistic modalities, I'm going to say holistic because it's right now I'm all about non-pharmaceutical. However, some people are using pharmaceuticals. I'm not totally against it, but having plant-based protocols, which is one holistic option, or when you're doing yoga or just going for a walk or prayer or meditation, massage. There's a lot of different modalities, and people can really start investigating what options resonate with them to help them reduce those. Cortisol. When you're stressed out, your cortisol levels, which your cortisol is created in your adrenal glands, and when those levels go up, they wreak havoc on your body, from hormones to your systems to all of your systems and your organs. And for both men and women, that's a huge contributor to the belly fat that's around the waistline. And that's really difficult from a visceral fat perspective to be losing. But, this is really important information, especially with what's going on today, being isolated and having to change our, general day-to-day activities and being confined. Hopefully that's going to change over the next, 3 to 6 months. Things will get better, but there's a lot of options out there for people. And I encourage people to really start investigating those options, rather than going to your doctor and looking for the next best pill, that red pill or the blue pill.
we do have some engagement from our community here. I'm kind of working that in. We have Shannon, the therapist. She is known for the Wellness Companion community. Very active. She says we definitely need to train our brain from the time we wake up until we sleep. And then another person, she's a nurse practitioner, and she's also not a stranger to the companion in our panel as well. Michelle Johnson, I think you dubbed her a holistic. I think you dubbed her, Jeff, the holistic nurse practitioner. But she says mind is in every cell, so stress affects every part.
So let me, Courtney, let me just correct you on that. Sorry, Michelle is a physician's assistant.
Oh, she's a PA. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yes.
I do up all the time.
No, that's all right. I want to give her that recognition because.
Is it a step? Is it a step up?
Oh, big time.
Oh,
it's one step. It's one step below an MD.
Oh, okay. Well, definitely want to make sure that she's on a pedestal.
And I'm pretty sure it's between a nurse practitioner and an MD. So they're right in the middle. They're very, very well trained.
Awesome. Well, certainly she's an amazing person. What she's doing. So thank you, Jeff, for correcting me on that. And we also have Alicia Natasha says, I had Cushing's disease, a pituitary tumor, produced too much cortisol. I know all about it. And then Christy Wise, again, not a stranger to the Courtne Wellness Companion community, says mind over matter. So I think a lot of people are engaging with this idea of some of the things that we're talking about here.
I think a big part of it is if you can incorporate from the minute you wake up, like someone I think already said, like I wake up and I set the intention for the day. I will either, just thank the universe, thank God, whatever you want to do for, waking up. And you get out of bed and you set your intention for the day, and then you do what's healthiest for your body and what resonates for you throughout the day. And I talk a lot to ladies about journaling, meditation. Some ladies will work with crystals. I use a lot of essential oils. But as they were saying, it's so many people are so stuck on, getting that pill, when there's so many things that you can do without medication that are healthier for you than that drug. And it's lifelong teaching yourself and your body.
And I love that. I love the medical teams that we have that come to our panel, because they're always promoting creating health and really trying to do it on your own. You know what I mean? I think that's powerful, Dr. Hanagowski. And for those that are jumping on, Dr. Hanagowski is a OBGYN physician, so she's coming from a medical standpoint. So if you have questions that are out there specifically, I know you have your own OBGYN, but Dr. Hanagowski, she's pretty darn amazing. And she's with us right now until she delivers a baby. So she might have to next 2 minutes. She might have to go for a baby. Question. This is certainly a great opportunity.
Yeah. So I just like to add to what she said about there's no magic pill. You actually just have to just put in the work. And a lot of times, many people are looking for a shortcut, like how can I lose the most weight the fastest? And
right,
it just doesn't work that way. Like there's no way around it. There's people who wants to try this pill, this diet, this shake, this waist trainer, this all this stuff. But like when it comes down to it, you have to put in the work, and then it takes time to see your body change and your health change. So that's what we're all about, because you may not be a marathon runner, and that's okay, but you can improve on what you do every single day in your own way. And you're not comparing yourself. You shouldn't compare yourself to myself or Courtney or Heidi or Jeff. It's just we are all different, and we just do what we can every day. And by educating and learning, you get a little bit better each day.
100%.
I tell ladies, I had a lady today who was criticizing her body, and was just not happy with who she was. And I said, that you've got to stop right there, because you have to love who you are right now. And then if you want to make some changes, sure, do that, but don't abuse this gift. This is a gift. It's where you are right now. Make the changes you want to, but don't keep putting that body down, because then you're putting your mind down, you're putting your soul down. It's not a healthy place to start from
So,
that complete negative body image.
so
And so
Christy,
I always stress to ladies, love where you are, make the changes you want. We're always work in progress, but it should start and come from a place of love first.
100, 100. Christy Wise is in the comment here. She says, "Always know your why. Why are you doing this journey and never give up?" Amazing words. Shannon, the therapist, was the one that about starting the day. Dr. Hennig, but she also says here, what you put on your brain the first 20 minutes after awaking sets the tone for your day. So that's great advice there. So yeah,
Yep.
more people are jumping on. A lot of engagement.
Yeah, I did notice a change when in the first morning, before I set out of bed, I'll ask to be better than I was the day before. And then, what is it I want to accomplish today, in just a positive. And I think if you start from that positive mode, it helps throughout the day. And I kind of fall back sometimes if I feel like I'm slipping back, and I'll think, one step forward.
100.
No, I want to echo on that. I love that. So we talk about waking up and starting those vibes, right? Like we're starting off, we're waking up. So we get to the point, what can you do that you wake up less stressed? So if it's work, we talk about food prepping and stuff on those Sundays, because usually Monday through Friday, that's doing most people's schedule and stuff, at least through those days. Food prepping is a way to kind of de-stress during the week, that you're going home, you're just got off of work, you got the kids or family saying, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? By having that's one way to alleviate the stress. If you are laying out your clothes, and I know this might sound silly, but even starting with kids at a younger age, I mean, I'm learning this as I'm going as a parent and stuff too. I wish, like when I was younger, start these kids out learning stress. I mean, how to manage their stress. Have their clothes laid out so you're not going crazy in the morning what you're going to wear. Have your breakfast maybe ready so your time, because that's the biggest thing that stretches out as soon as we start the day.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I do. Exact same thing. Lay the clothes out the night before. Anything that you can do to and make that day start out a little bit better.
Absolutely. One thing I want to get on here too, just moving on. Anybody else wanted to share anything, some things that their morning routines that help with stress?
For me, it's getting my morning routine, such as just making my bed so that I feel accomplished, because it's something that's very easy, but you can see the results right away. Because when you have a neat bed, you're just instantly more, I don't know, calm. You feel accomplished. It's like, because you don't want to come back, take a nap or to go to bed and everything's a mess. You want to set your environment to be calming, not to add more stress to your life.
Yep. And I found that adding plants to the bedroom is very helpful. Great way to fall asleep and to wake up. And there are certain plants that are more beneficial to sleep and should be put in your bedroom. And you can find those online. So that's another just easy, non-drug way to add a stress reliever to your life. And
I like
besides,
that.
like you said, yeah, plants I find very, 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 very soothing. And like I said, there are certain plants that they recommend be in your bedroom for sleep, for decreased anxiety.
It's
And
funny
again,
it's just funny that you even mention that, because I guess being around you, Ma, like you're always around plants. I think it seems like that your garden, things like that. And my wife just had a birthday, and that was one of the things that I got her was this plant. Now where we live, we don't live in a place where we have a yard and a lot of space for that. But I did get her this plant, and I told her, I said, it's for this the green represents growth, you know, and we make sure that it gets sun every day, and it kind of parallels with where I'm at in my journey. Like I try to get outside every day, you know? And I told her that, I said that this plant is going to bring you growth. I'm not even really thinking about stress. About this is kind of how you want to think about your life. You know what I mean? Like a plant needs water, it needs sunlight, it needs nurturing. These are like all the things that we need as a human being as well.
right.
I love that, Courtney. That's awesome. Myself too. I love when I see, and it takes me back. Like even planning stuff, it takes me to a happy place of gardening with my dad. Another thing too is music. I love waking up to music, and I like going to bed listening to something that eases my mind. Like I'm really big, like listening to old songs that will totally take me out of my head or any situation.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
speaking of when you're speaking of music, I was speaking to a psychologist, and he recommends to his patients an app called Insight Timer, and it's a free app, and it walks you through all kinds of different meditations for if you have a hard time sleeping, if you're stressed, if you're angry, and there's all kinds of different lengths of them. And there, even if you don't do the meditation, just the person's voice and the music that's playing, I found very, very helpful and soothing. And so I recommend that to a lot of my patients, is the app Insight Timer. So that's something else to help with stress.
I second the Insight Timer. It has everything you need. There's bedtime stories. There's white noise. Like if you like to fall asleep to rain in the forest, I love that. There's meditation. There's like all kinds of stuff. I used the free version for a while, and I was like, this is worth the upgrade to get all the experience. So it's a really good app. My therapist actually recommended that to me. So it's great. And I also want to touch on the planting, because I do gardening, and it is so therapeutic and very rewarding, just like cooking, because you get, especially if you plant vegetables or fruits, you get to eat it. You get to see your hard work from like the beginning to the end. It's so satisfying. And yeah, so I just got like 5 things of strawberries, and I'm planting some cucumbers. I'm trying out microgreens. It's just like there's a whole world of gardening that you can get into that will take your mind out of stress. Because a lot of people, they get into gardening, and it's like it brings out the zenness in you. I don't know. There's something about it, and you don't need a backyard. You can do pot planting, not pot, but like plants in the pot. And you could plant some pot if you want.
That's a whole new different subject.
That's one stress reliever.
That's another talk.
Another talk.
I mean, that would release some stress, right? Some pot.
This comment the first 20 minutes, I think that was Shannon, the therapist. The first 20 minutes. This is Tanya Brown. She says, I have to make my bed before ... No matter how late I may be ... That would drive me crazy ... If I don't. In a smiley. So
yeah,
we kind of talked about that like the first minute, but and we've talked about this, and other getting those all right, see, yep, you tagged it. It's right there. Getting those early successes out of the way, and those early successes, like just being able to make up your bed, you have a sense of accomplishment. So that accomplishment actually will take that stress that you have, and it's almost like you're checking a box. It's like, okay, my bed is nice and neat. Boom. That is something that's positive. So Tanya, thank you for sharing that.
Tanya, I'm glad you're not in my bedroom right now because my bed wasn't made this morning.
It made
Whoops.
It totally
I have
set
to
him
make my
off.
bed.
Totally set him off.
Another thing I find helps with stress is I tell ladies also to make lists. If they feel like they're overwhelmed, make the list of what you would like to get done today, what you would like to get done by the end of the week, what you would like to get done at the end of the month, and you check those off. Checking those off to me is so satisfying. When I cross off the list that this was done, to me, nothing feels better. And I will use colored pens or, put stars by it just to make sure, I got that done. So I tell ladies to, make lists so that they can check them off and they can see that they're making accomplishments, whether it's a little one or a big one.
for sure.
I think that is 100% right there, especially if you have children and stuff, because you have to have a game plan. Like I said, most stress comes from situations that wasn't controlled. You know what I mean? Like it's uncontrolled situation. So we talk about what it does, and we get more into what it does to the body. You take, for instance, and I always say this: look at our presidents for a second, how they age. Whether it be 4 years, 8 years, like that stress that they have on them, it really takes a toll, So you have, and whenever, I love the fact that you said like journal or make a checklist, because when you're feeling accomplished and you prioritize things, I think prioritizing, especially when you have kids, like, okay, what is so important today that I want to do, and what is not, that if I get done, fine. If not, to set
Right.
yourself up for the
Yep.
day.
And I also try and get ladies to, they'll freak out about laundry or cleaning the house or doing this. I'm like, then also make a day. Laundry day is this day, and you only do laundry on this day. And, just to plan out, if you have a plan, like you said, you can take away some of those. If you do a little advanced planning, you can take away some of that stress.
Hey, Heidi, I would like to just reset the room. We have some new people. I'm tagging people left and right. So they're just jumping in. We have an amazing panel tonight. We're talking about stress and how it affects the body. We have our first time panel Dr. Hanagowski. She is an OBGYN physician. We have Jeffrey, who is he's a certified health wellness coach, wellness gladiator. And then we have the co-founders of Courtne Wellness Companion, the amazing Heidi, that we're sharing nuggets the whole time. If you missed the first 40 minutes, definitely rewind it and go back, because it is nothing but we have an amazing audience they're also sharing amazing tips. Therapist Tanya, Christy Wise are the folks that are out there that are really just giving some really good feedback and information. So I wanted to reset the room real quick.
Awesome, Courtne, and everybody who's coming in, thank you for coming in and joining. Again, yes, we do have some wonderful people here talking about an amazing topic. One thing I want to hit, it seems like the younger ones don't understand until you hit a certain age what stress does. Let's talk about heart, the organs, all of these things that it affects over the years. When they talk about, some people get gray hair when they're in their 20s, Some people, I always laugh because I know some people that said, well, this here was my son's spot. This here was my daughter's spot with gray, So all of these factors.
And some of us lose it.
Some just lose it. Hey, bald is beautiful now. Bald is beautiful. So many factors. When we talk to about the fight and flight system of our body, so whenever we stress out, we start releasing all these hormones. Our heart rate accelerates. again, we some get flushed, some go through different things. So your body, not only just what you eat, what what you're putting in there environmentally, stress is they said one of the biggest killers in the United States, because we got such a fast-paced life that we're stressed all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Stress does lead to heart disease, and stress is the number one killer out there. But what's interesting, I do want to share this, and on my journey, I was a 10 plus when it came to stress and anxiety. When I changed my diet to a food or a plant-based diet and really watched what I ate and looked at different protocols, that 10 plus for decades went down to a 1. And this is something that is really catastrophic. I think it's catastrophic to the people today, especially the kids. And I think Dr. Rebecca would definitely agree with me on that, because the kids today, ADHD, autism, bipolar, polar, whatever, all this is stemming from a lot of those things, and stress just leads off to a plethora of different things.
Whoop, I didn't know. Rebecca, you're muted.
You're still muted.
It won't let me. There it is.
Here.
I think it's good. It kept muting again. But with kids, we are seeing more ADHD. We're seeing more type 2 diabetes. We're seeing earlier high blood pressure. When I was last year, I worked up in Maine, and in the 20s, we had chronic hypertensives already. They were on high blood pressure medicines since they were 18 or 19. So
Yeah,
we're seeing it earlier and earlier.
Yeah, and that's so sad. Like I said, I think it's so, and knowing, bringing kids into this world and all of that, would you recommend to parents out there to, what would you say to parents out there raising young children on, helping them teach stress,
I think parents right now, as parents, you're always trying to protect your kids, but I think you can't protect them from the stressors of the world. What parents need to do at this time is help their kids deal in a healthy way with the stress that they're encountering. You can't block them from encountering stress throughout their lives. You just can't, and you're not doing them any kind of service by preventing them from, they're telling you, they come home and they've got a problem. You work with them through that problem. And this is a healthy way to deal with it, or how would you work through it? And I think we're having kids today avoid and not learn how to deal with the stressors in their life.
So we have another comment guest here, Nikki Fluid. She is my sister-in-law. She says, stress will wreck your body. Stress caused my body to rip the myelin off my nerves. I was going to say melanin, Nikki. I didn't know if it was a typo, but maybe myelin. I didn't know that there was even such thing as that. It says left side burning and numb. She says, I was tested for everything, and they said it was all stress. Wow.
Huh. Yeah, stress can affect every organ in your body. Wow. And we all express it differently. If you ever got nervous before a test and you're running to the bathroom with diarrhea, I mean, it affects every organ of your body.
Wow.
And so if you can learn, we're going to be exposed to stress, yes, but how are you going to react and cope with that stress? And we all need to learn our best way of dealing with. Like for me, it's punching, it's boxing, it's dancing, it's writing, and everybody's going to have their own.
I love what you said. Oh, go ahead, Deb.
Oh no, go ahead, and then I'll just add to Dr. Rebecca.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I love the fact that you, when you talked about parents raising children, or anybody for that matter, you go into the world knowing that there's going to be stress. There's going to be stressful days. There's going to be so many different situations. It's all how you deal with it. So I love that because I was one, I wanted to protect my kids from everything so they didn't have to deal. They're going to have to deal with situations, especially when we're not around. So I love the fact that you put that. Thank you, doctor, for that.
You're welcome. I think you need to teach them healthy ways to deal with it. And the sooner they learn the healthier ways, they will build a toolbox, a toolkit that they can go to when they enter this situation or this situation. Now we're just not giving them any kind of tools.
Yep.
None.
Yeah, the idea is on that journey is take them to, or even for us ourselves, is on our own journey is get to the point where rather than react to stress, we're evaluating the stress.
Right.
Because I used to always react. It was and react sometimes even violently. But once you can get to that point where okay, I'm stressed. What I need to evaluate this. What does this mean to me? What do I do to move forward? So huge,
I give myself
huge difference.
A timeout.
Yeah.
I try and give myself a timeout. I take a step back and it's like, okay, girl, go punch, go, write, go do something, because it's not fair to the rest of my world around me, because then I'm going to create stressors for them. So I think I've gotten better with age at evaluating and stepping back and saying, time out.
Right. And I think it's so important that for the kids, we talk about keeping them active, whatever you're capable, find something that they like, hobbies, some sports. A lot of times what we say, idle hands is the devil's workshop, and it's also stresses. So they get angry, they don't know what to do. So what do? They hit something. Well, that's okay. If you want to hit, box. I'll put you in karate. I will put you in baseball to swing that bat. I'll put you in football to learn how to deal with these things. So I love that.
Yep.
So Tanya comments, and she said it's dancing and walking for her. And I think you guys have all said it. You got to find whatever works for you. What I tell people all the time is, because we talked about dance. And you find the thing that, as far as physical movement, this is how you trick yourself. It's real easy. Find something that you enjoy doing, and then find somebody that you enjoy doing it with. And then at that moment, it's not work anymore. It's not a workout, because the whole idea of a workout, the first part of the word workout is work. So who really wants to go work after they got done working? Right? Nobody wants to go work after they went to work. So even the word itself, it can bring anxiety to people. Well, when you just say the word workout, like I just start saying, let's just go move.
Yeah. And that's what I'll tell ladies: increase any kind of movement into your life. Because I hate the word workout, because then people think in their head they've got to go to a gym, they've got to do this, they've got to do that. And if they're not working out, they're not getting that exercise. And that's not true. And that's why I said to the one woman, I could tell she had this vibe about her with dancing. I'm like, turn on the music you love and move. And she, it was almost like a light bulb went off. And she's like, oh my gosh, that would be fun for me. And I said, you ever drive down Highland Road at 9 o'clock at night, you're going to see some crazy movement in my bedroom, because that's usually when, I've got the jam going on. So I think you just have to find what makes you happy.
100.
Can I add to that, please? A lot of times we think exercise is one thing. It has to be structured, and you have to go to the gym, and you need the clothes, and you need the equipment. And no, that's not exercise. Exercise, that's one form of exercise that some people do. But walking around, running after your kids, doing chores, like anything, as long as you're moving and not just sitting down and being sedentary, you're doing you're burning calories, you're doing some kind of movement. And I love that you took the work out, that word association, because words mean a lot of people, and some people just like the word work. It kind of is triggering to some people, just like the word diet. So like just name it something else to make it more pleasurable, because
call it a living.
Yeah.
Don't diet. I had somebody, I think it was one of my mentors, we were in a conversation, we were talking about the word diet. Like, I don't want to die. The first letters of the word diet is die. So put in a living. I want to live.
I love that. And that's the whole thing, no matter what we do, with the mindset of eating right, doing stuff, movement. And what I love is we train ourselves when we walk into a room, right, and it's dark. We're already programmed to turn on and flip that switch and turn on the light, right? So what we need to do is flip that switch. When we know something triggers us and starts with stressing, what is that switch that you're going to turn on that is going to bring you on the other side of that?
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's a good point.
Yeah, just, reprogramming everything that we do. And even like when you're out there gardening, and again, it just reminds me so much of my dad. My dad was in awesome shape up until the time he gardened. He was up and he was down. He was planting. He was hitting building stuff, or he was just out there doing and staying active. So it don't have to be anything. I do sometimes photography. I love getting out. That is like one of the best stress. We'll go up to Presque Isle up here. It's called Presque Isle, and it has you're along Lake Erie, and it has all kinds of birds and animals. We go up there. I'll lose myself and lose any stress or anything that was even stress related for hours, because I just flip that switch. I flip that switch.
Well,
that's awesome. Hey, folks, I have a hard stop at 8 o'clock. I got to jump off. Thank you. This was an amazing, amazing talk.
Yes.
And it was great to meet Dr. Rebecca and be with the rest of these three wonderful people. So thank you so much. I'm really humbled.
Thanks again, Jeff. It was wonderful having you. Always insightful.
Thank you so much. We'll do it again.
100, absolutely. 100. Dr. Hanagowski, we know you have your time is of the essence, or it may be limited as well. Can you give us one? Did I break up a little bit? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you give us some final words, Dr. Hanagowski, on stress and what you're giving to your ladies?
What I say is start, like I said, the first thing in the morning with an intention that you want. Start with trying to be as organized as you possibly can. Learn ways that make you happy. Eat as healthy as you possibly can. If you have a bad day and you've slipped backwards, don't give in. There's a next day is another day to start all over again. Just keep moving forward on your journey.
Awesome. Appreciate that. That's wise words, and we certainly appreciate you joining us this Wednesday evening. You certainly many things
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys.
You bet.
I love
Thank
that you're
you
doing
so
this.
much.
Mai, do you have any final words? Bye now.
All right. The final words. I love that Heidi said to take time literally to smell the roses. That's what I do on my walk. We all have our phone. Take pictures of the pretty sights that you see. And then that keeps kind of like a journal, a photographic thing, a memory of what you saw. So I like taking pictures and then making a collage, and then sharing it, because it brightens, like you share to Facebook. It's just nice to look at pretty things, flowers, whatever you see on your walk, interesting things. It doesn't have to even be pretty. It's just like whatever, and whatever makes you happy, and just do it. Because for me, when I'm on my walk, it's my time, so I can do whatever I want. I don't have to deal with the kids. I don't have to think about chores. It's just I'm getting my fresh air, I'm getting my exercise, and it helps me become a better me, essentially.
100. Thank you for sharing that. And Heidi, is there a group of, is there like one or two people that you would say that kind of helps you with your stress.
Ah,
A company that start with the letter CW.
oh,
Is there something
Courtney something? Courtney something.
what that W stand for?
I don't know. Oh my gosh. Courtney, why don't you fill that in?
It's been an amazing ride so far. We actually have our first pitch meeting coming up with the Courtne Wellness Companion, and we're just excited to be able to share this companion with many of you. We bring these wellness professionals to you as a community to just really bring some credibility and some substance to what we pretty much do on a daily basis. You see Heidi, you see myself, and you're probably like, what are these crazy people doing all the time? They're like always outside. Do any of them have a job? Do any of them have a kid? Like, do any of them have like anything else that everyone else seems to have? Really, the only difference is we've just decided that we were going to just create health, and we're going to just grab the bull by the horns. We just decided that we're going to give ourselves time because our health is most important to us, and we decided to create a system that can help you do the same thing. And we have an amazing offer right now, and we can offer this to you at a very reasonable price of $4.99. And there's so much that comes with it. And this Are You Well Wednesday, this is just one part of it. You see my little girl chasing behind me here. She's always with her dad. She's gonna always be with her dad. So yeah, it's a tremendous opportunity. And we have so many wellness professionals that we're connected to. So that's so amazing. We have fitness instructors, we have nutrition consultants, we have all these things, and we're just gonna just constantly clap for you. So I don't know if that's
Doctor, all kinds of different. And let me tell you something, guys, and I want to say this. I can come on and see and smile. So anybody out there, and I mean this in a serious note, smiling, like when I see my smile, because she's so adorable, when she smiles and Courtney smiles and my kids smile, anybody smiles, it makes me feel good. So remember to smile. I mean, honestly, like just love life and try to. I'm a big stressor. We say, Courtney, you say about living lives and stuff. I'm coming home today. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get to think. Life happens. How you deal with it. Again, flip that switch. Flip that switch. Join your community. Be around positivity.
Yes. And you know what they say, smiling is contagious. So spread the joy. And it's easy to do because when it's easy to make somebody smile and it's free, you just pay him a compliment. Your hair looks nice today, Heidi. You have a beautiful smile.
Yeah.
I like your hat, Courtney. You're very matchy today.
Thank you.
Gray all the way.
This was a
Awesome.
fantastic talk. And ask us any questions if you're watching the replay. We'll be checking the comments. And if you want to connect with Jeff or with Dr. Rebecca, just leave your comment there and we'll have them check Facebook to answer your question.
100. Well, Heidi, thank you for leading this tonight. Your leadership as well. And we're going to go ahead and sign off. Everyone have an amazing evening. Spend time with the people that you love most. And we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Peace.